Hey everyone, welcome back. Joe here again, ScaleFreak.com, coming to officially announce the next project video series that you're going to see on the channel. Basically, I've been talking about this for a while. It's been in the video blogs. I've alluded to the parts. When I say alluded to, I mean I've told you exactly what I'm doing, but now this is the official announcement, aka the first video in the series, to rebuild the Fizzo. So this truck here has been out of action for quite a long time for this reason. Let me see, get it here. Oh, you hear that? Oh, that is the transmission. Almost 4 years the stock gearing inside this axial SCX10 transmission. Almost 4 years I got out of it, and then it bit the big one. I use this thing for a lot of heavy trailing. I was driver of the day for the G6 in Canada. And then shortly after that, I was like, man, this transmission works great. I'll never have to replace this. And then a gear went. So again, 4 years that thing lasted. But the rest of the truck is also 4 years old for the most part. It's kind of sloppy. The links are all pretty hammered out. A lot of the plastics are, you know, they need some attention and stuff like that. You know, Axial makes a great quality kit that has standed the test of me for the last 4 years, but now it's time to give it some love. We've seen a lot of updates on this already. I've already got the King shocks. I've already got the pit bulls. I've already got the closed cell, the Wild Deuce foams from Crawler Innovations. You know, I already put aftermarket drive shafts and stuff on here, but it is time to start to revisit a lot of these parts, make sure that they're still working exactly how I want them to, and of course possibly make some changes. So what are you going to see with this video series? Well, I guess kind of going over it, we're going to revisit some of the parts. You know, this is what you want to do to check this, and this is what you can replace it with. You know, things like that, just to check to see whether or not your truck, what kind of upkeep you should be doing on it over the years, and maybe what you're going to replace it with, or what I would replace it with. So of course, I've got some RC4WD parts on here. A lot of that stuff is going to stay pretty static. I really love these Tough Armor side rails. They're going to stay on it. I'm going to stay with my axial sliders. I might just clean them up a little bit. You know what? I might just actually put them in a drill and take all of the finish off of them. I think that'll look pretty cool. For this truck right now, and I say right now because eventually the axles will be rebuilt, or replaced, but for now I'm going to go through, rebuild all the stock axle stuff, but it's going to see some updates. Like for example, I got the GCM last lockers that are going to go in this kit. So right now it still has the stock axial lockers, but again, these things are 4 years old, so they're kind of messy. You can see I've got a lot of slop in this truck, but again, they're 4 years old, so you know, they kind of wear out. So the GCM last locker, you'll see a video on that, as well as you can actually see how sloppy this front section is here. I'm actually going to be, you can see the stock configuration. I have my radio box, I have my transmission, my motor, of course, with being a stock kit, hooks directly onto the transmission. I'm actually going to be installing the motor forward, so it's actually going to put the motor transmission up on the front of the truck. And then we just get an axle that goes down to what will be in the middle, which is our GCM transfer case for the middle. So it's actually going to put a new transfer case right flat here, which is actually going to reduce, I mean, if you see that, how tall this is, normally you'd have a motor on there, center of gravity is kind of high in the middle of the truck. It's actually going to reduce that to just a little flat guy right in the center of the truck, so I'm really pumped about that. And then that will allow me to do different things later on, like if the hard body, maybe I can mount it to this thing here and just give me that much more room. Maybe I'll put my battery there. I'm not actually quite too sure yet. Of course, when you do that kit, because what it's actually going to do is move the motor and stuff up to the front, I'm also going to do the servo mount, the chassis mounted servo from GCM, so it'll take it off the axle and move it into this space here. It'll actually be sideways, so that will remove this brace. It'll remove that secondary brace that we always have to trim out, and it's going to put the servo up higher in the chassis. It'll put it up here more out of the elements. You know, the first piece of electronic that may hit the ground is your servo. Instead, it'll be up high. And it's the dual servo mount, so I've got the option to do a different servo for a different action later on in here. I don't know 100% what I'm going to do with that yet. Of course, that's also going to allow me to trim up my axle a little bit. I don't have to have all these different prongs and stuff. You can see on the rear, see the way it's got those mounts. If I were to put a chassis mounted servo on there, I'm actually going to make it so that those are shaved off, much cleaner looking pumpkin and axle, because I don't need them. I may even get rid of most of the truss mount. I'm not quite too sure yet. Actually, wait, yes I am. I'm removing the trusses completely because I'm putting the GCM 4-link truss kit on here as well, just to make it like tougher and stronger. Again, I'm prepping this truck for the 2015 G6, so this thing is going to be built even more bulletproof than it already is. Of course, because I'm doing the servo mount on the front, I'm going to need the Panhard Bar kit, otherwise I'm going to get massive bump steer. When you remove the servo from the axle, what happens is, and you put it up on the chassis, every time you go to turn, it's going to try to push your axle left and right before the wheels go. So what the Panhard kit does is it mounts to the side, puts a nice strong bar there so that it doesn't actually move the axle when the servo is trying to actuate the steering. So that's going to go in it too. Of course, it is the Ford, so the Proline F250 shell is going on it again. I've got this one already trimmed out. It's going to be the same paint job as before. I really love the red paint job, but for the cage on the back, I'm going to make it look like more of a truck. I'm going to shave off the most of the cage look that it has, mount the spare tire really nice. And speaking of tires, of course, I do have my GCM Detroit BL Baja wheels on there, and like I already said, I'm running the Rock Beasts, the 1.9 Pitbull Rock Beasts, and I've got those nice closed cell foams inside from Crawler Innovations. I'll be upgrading my servo as well to the same servo that I have in the G6, which I believe was the SW10 from Savox, and of course putting a Racer's Edge servo arm on there because I really want to have a good strong connection, make sure nothing happens to it. What else do I have? Of course, my power system will be my Tekin FXR with my 35-turn Pro motor. I will rebuild this motor, so I'll do that on camera so you guys can see exactly how I clean it up and what conditioning process I go through. That's a little bit down the line. It will get installed long before the rebuild video, but you will see that eventually. And of course, I'm going to be running it all off of a Team AHK 3-cell LiPo now. So this whole kit has only ever been run with 2-cell LiPo. Now it's getting upgraded to a 3-cell LiPo battery. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen with that one. I've got my RC4WD winch on this with my RC4WD Rampage recovery bumper. I'm going to keep this bumper, absolutely, but I'm going to replace the winch with the new RC4WD winch. I kind of like the shape of it and stuff like that and exactly how it fits on there. And of course, I've talked to you guys before about these D-rings that are on here. They're going to get replaced as well. And the reason being is because these are the normal size D-rings, which are great, but it's actually very difficult to get a recovery hook on that correctly. Like the King Kong hook, it's a little bit, these D-rings are a little bit too large for that, so I'm going to switch them to the minis. And I know that sounds like a very small change, but it makes a difference on the trail. But of course, I will stay with the King shocks. I will most likely, I'm not making a full commitment yet, but I will most likely upgrade this to a 32 pitch. And I only say most likely because I have a lot of these spare spur gears that I don't want to just have to leave sitting in my pit bag. Plus my 48 pitch, the stock pinion and the stock spur gear that I've used on this kit since day one still works perfect. So I don't think I really want to replace that just yet. And I'm still trying to decide what I'm going to do with the transmission. I may upgrade this to aftermarket, the case, but I'm definitely updating the internal gears. The internal gears are definitely getting an upgrade, and I will be putting MIP drive shafts on here to replace the Junfax that I have on here now. So, I'm excited for that. Of course, I will be running everything for the first time this season. I'll be using my Airtronics MT4 radio, and the reason why I point this out specifically is because I have been, for my winch sake, I've been using my Spectrum DX3E radio for the past couple of years, which has been working really, really well. But I like the controllability that this gives me, and now I actually have a lever for my winch so I can adjust my speed. The new winch I'm putting on does operate on 3-cell, so I'm sure I can get some pretty crazy speed out of it, and I want to make sure I can control the creep with the new winch controller that comes with it, as well as that. And of course, I will be putting lights on this rig. I'll be getting the Hey OK light controller. And I'm going to scale it out. I'm going to get it covered with accessories from Top Shelf Hobbies. You're going to see a lot of that as well. Go check out their Facebook group. It's pretty cool. They make some pretty neat stuff. So it's going to get a bunch of stuff on there as well. I'm trying to think of anything else that I have to talk about with this project. I'm actually making a commitment to a lot of parts that I haven't even picked up yet. So I guess this is a good opportunity for me to wrap it up, and I actually want you to comment below with anything else that you think that I should consider or put into this kit as I'm going through the stage of collecting all the parts. I've got a lot of it already, but of course I do need to get a whole bunch more from some different partners and stuff like that to get into the truck. So what do you guys think I also should put into that truck? But go ahead, in the meantime, just click on the like button for the video. It's going to help me out a whole bunch. Of course, if you have subscribed already, thank you very much. If you have not, just click that button. It's free, and you'll get the updates whenever whenever YouTube wants to give them to you. And of course, please, again, comment below on what you think should be going into this truck for its whole rebuild series. And, oh yeah, share this with your community, guys. Please remember that when you share the video, you're helping somebody else see the whole series. And then, of course, I actually am building a whole series for this, so please also feel free to click on the playlists and check out, again, the whole series. That's really it, guys, for this truck here. I'm going to go ahead and start doing some more filming today. I don't know which part I'm going to get done, but you're going to start to see some more videos coming soon. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.